of any protective equipment. He has like a fraction of an inch of his body touching and connecting with the horse in the iron of the stirrups. And he only connects to the horse then through his hands. Not even his knees are touching the horse. So his feel is phenomenal, and he's doing it at 40 miles an hour when any false move could send him and the horse to death. That is an aspect of this that I want the audience to feel and actually participate in.
Yesterday we saw you shooting a scene. It was a small audience, but you know it's going to look very different. Can you explain how much CGI you're going to use and how you're going to use it?
We are actually using a surprisingly small amount of CGI. When we were in Kentucky, for example, we had budgeted for large CGI shots. But we had so many people turn out to be the crowd. And I'm from Tennessee, so I have a real connection. I told everybody in Kentucky that we were probably all cousins. And I asked them to sing My Old Kentucky Home, which I had not imagined would be in the movie. But when they sang it, the entire crew and our cast got inspired because the people sang it with such heart. And we just ran the cameras and they sang this song. And then when I described the race, we played the actual call of the race from Secretariat's Kentucky Derby win. And it was as if people could feel it. I wanted them to have the experience. I like to direct extras. I think a lot of directors don't want to, and I understand why they don't, because it feels like chaos. It's maybe 1,000 new actors, but they're there so full of intensity and sincerity. And if you make them participants in the process, if you talk with them and let them know what's happening, then they become a living part of the shot. So when we were doing the race, they felt as if they were there on that day. And they brought so much excitement. And that way, we're going to have to use far less CG. Those 1,000 people made the stadium really rock with energy. There will be some CG work in terms of place. We're shooting a lot of this movie here in Lafayette, Louisiana, a town I've fallen in love with, and we're making this racetrack similar to others. But our production designer, Tom Sanders, and his staff have made this real for Kentucky Derby, for Belmont Park, for Saratoga, for Aqueduct, and we've changed it each day so that when you walk out there, you actually feel you're in those places.
One last question. Historic authenticity. A lot of people remember the actual events. How do we stay true to them?
Well, I believe the closer you get to current times, it's an advantage because people understand what happened in that time. So many people remember watching Secretariat cross the line. Now in Europe and in Asia, a lot of people did not see Secretariat cross. They don't know. Again, for me as a storyteller, that's an advantage because this story isn't about a particular horse or a particular country. It's about a horse who transcended what all other horses had ever done. This is a story about a kind of miracle, a kind of longing that we all have when we ask ourselves if we can't be more than anyone told us we could be, that even we tell ourselves we can be. Secretariat achieved something that no one believed he could do because no other horse had ever done it, and no other horse since then has done it still. So that becomes the tale. And in telling that story, I've always been accused, having worked with many historical subjects, I've been accused of bending the facts to suit the story. I have a saying, I try not to let the facts get in the way of the truth. But the way I see that is that in making a movie, you're making an impressionistic painting. You're not making a pure photograph. You're certainly not making a documentary. You're choosing which facts to highlight and which facts to omit. And inevitably in making that choice, you're becoming an artist, and you're taking the responsibility of saying, this is what's important, and it is this that I want you to look at. Even the choice of where you point the camera or where you focus the camera. We're focusing right on the horse's eye, often because we want you to know what the horse was feeling. And you can feel what the horse is feeling when you look right into his eye. So in this story, what people are going to feel is they're going to feel the truth of what Secretariat accomplished.